Okay, class, good morning. Corbin, good morning. You are the only one who showed up to class today. I appreciate it. So today, Corbin, come on, we're learning. I'm gonna need you to sit down. Thank you, I appreciate it. No, okay. Well, this morning we are going to be reviewing and going over narratives. So because we're not able to learn anything new due to the coronavirus, we're just going to be reviewing a narrative. And so our objective today is going to be, I will be able to use descriptive details and sequencing to write a narrative about an imaginative story or experience. So I just kind of wanted to start with reviewing. Corbin, can you remind me what a narrative is? Wonderful. Yes, he was correct. It is a written story about anything. So an event, anything that has happened. And can anyone, or mainly Corbin, can you remind me what a descriptive detail is? Because that is in our objective, and that's what we're going to have to use in our writing. Corbin, are you paying attention? I just asked you a question. Okay, he is not participating. That's okay. He's distracted. It's okay. So yes, a descriptive, I'll just tell you what it is. Maybe you forgot. I don't know. Or maybe you just like playing with your toys. A descriptive detail is, so like let's say we talked about, we know what key details are. So that's like an important piece of the story, but it's not quite the main idea. It's not quite like the topic sentence or anything like that, but a detail is going to be something small about the characters, about the setting, or about the conflict. So when we're descriptive, we use descriptive words, which we'll use adjectives. We will be using adjectives to describe our details. So what's an adjective? Something that describes a noun, person, place, or thing. So let's say we are talking about Corbin. So he is a dog, but let's use some descriptive words to describe him. He has a black face. He has brown in his coat. He's a large dog. So those are descriptive words that we are using to describe Corbin. So that's what we're going to be using when we're writing our narrative, descriptive words. I can probably come up with some other better ones. I'll do that later and I'll write them down on the board for you guys so that you can use them later. Lastly, let's talk about sequencing, because we need to make sure that when we are writing our narrative, we are writing in order. So sequencing is order, right? And so we talked about that when we were learning about our text structures. It's been maybe a few weeks since we've gone over text structures, but one of our text structures is sequencing, right? So there are some keywords to look for with sequencing. Before we were looking at paragraphs and we were deciding whether it was sequencing or not, but now we are writing in a sequenced form. So we know that we're going to be using first, second, last, then, after. We're going to, we can have dates if we want. So because it's a narrative and we're writing our own narrative, we're being creative, we can use dates, we can, anything we want. It can be, our story can be in the 1800s or can it be in the 2000s, whatever we want. So, all right. I want to remind you guys first of what our paragraphs looks like. See, we haven't been in the class for a while. It's been a few weeks since we've been in the classroom, so I'm going to start and create the graphic organizer for you guys. Okay, maybe I I should have done this beforehand, actually. Okay. And I'm going to label it for you. And if you want to write this down in your notebook, you can. It'd probably be helpful. So first we have our topic sentence, right? And then we have our paragraphs. And we're in the 4th grade, so we are doing 3 paragraphs. Okay. So this is just my graphic organizer. This isn't going to be what I am necessarily writing my paragraphs in, but all right. So now I'm going to draw 3 lines. And honestly, I should have made it, I just have a smaller notebook. So if I had a bigger notebook, I would make this a lot bigger. So I actually had room to write my initial ideas. So topic sentence, these are going to be my paragraph topics here. And then these are going to be my key details. And we've gone over this before. So I know you guys know what I'm doing. All right. And then at the end, we have our concluding sentence or our concluding paragraph. So I'm going to just write conclusion, key details. Okay. Perfect. So I don't think I'm going to need this anymore. I want to talk to you guys about a new application that I have found. I believe it's called Elementary, but it's spelled, instead of a Y, it's spelled with an I. So I found this resource for you guys so that you can begin to create a story online. So because we're doing online learning, we're doing social distancing learning, I thought that it would be a good idea to have something fun for you guys instead of just have you do worksheets at home. So this, I wish I could show you guys on this screen what the application will look like. But I will just show you on here. I might be able to get it for you guys. Let's see. Okay. 1 second. It's still loading. Okay. So this is the application that I'm talking about. All you have to do is create a login, which I have created for all of you, your usernames and your passwords. So look at how cool this is. This is where your writing is going to be. This is where you're going to write your story. But along with your story, along with your narrative that you're creating, you are going to be able to have or create illustrations. You are going to be able to add background music and effects, awesome animations, and you can have actually multiple endings if you would like and if you get to that point. So that's gonna be super cool. I'm glad that I found it for you guys and I'm really excited. I think you guys are going to really like it. So I also have this really cool thing. I'll show you. I don't really know what to call it. It's Roll a Story. Roll a Story. So this Roll a Story is going to be the guide for your guys' narrative. So let me read off to the character. So you have you have options for your character, you have options for the setting, and for the conflict that you will write about. So that I'm not just making you guys write something and you just have writer's block and you don't know what to write about. So we have 4 characters: a sad clown, a detective, a magician, a 2-headed monster. I know some of you are going to want to do that. An old man, and an elephant. So those are your character options, and I'm going to roll a die for you, or you can roll a die if you had one. I actually don't have one, so I will just pick. Setting: in the woods, in a magic castle, at a farm, inside a cave, a jelly bean factory, on a bridge. So then the conflicts, so when we pick out your character, either I or you will pick out your character, your setting, and your conflict. Those are the 3 requirements that you have to have in your story. Everything else can be you. The names, the descriptions, the time period, so the sequencing, right? Everything else gets to be you completely. So then for the lastly for the conflict ideas, there is lost their memory. So like your character lost their memory, your character found an unlucky penny. So what would happen, because right, pennies are lucky, what would happen if the penny was unlucky? What unlucky things would happen to your character? Ate a poison berry, had to solve a mystery, trips and falls into a ... You get to complete that. Chased by a killer animal. So these are all of the awesome choices that you guys get to pick from. I will roll the die for you. So Corbin, I will let you know what you have chosen. I don't have a die, so I'm just going to just magically pick what Corbin is going to write about. So I'm going to say Corbin's going to write about a 2-headed monster, and I'm just going to throw the die. Inside a cave. Let's see, roll the die. And you found an unlucky penny. So that's going to be what Corbin is going to write about. Okay, so lastly, you guys will use the new application to create this story that we have decided what you will be writing about. So like I said, Corbin, those are the things that he's going to be writing about. Okay, so in a little bit, I'm going to have you guys kind of go off and start writing and start creating. So what I want to happen is I want you guys to write out 1 paragraph at a time. And the reason that I say that is because creating the animations and putting the music into your writing is going to take a little while, and I don't mind that. I want it to be fun for you guys. You're all just at home, and I want it to be fun. I don't want this to be just work, work, work. We're all home right now. So, but there must be a beginning, middle, and end. You guys no, you do need a topic sentence. So, and you are gonna need a conclusion. But your topic sentence can be maybe just stating your character, the name, and the setting. So just kind of laying it all out for the reader, and not necessarily like, it won't be opinion based. It'll be, your topic sentence will mainly state your character's name, where he's at, and what the setting looks like, and then you can jump in to your beginning, middle, and end paragraphs, and then your conclusion. So after writing each paragraph, I want you guys to write it in Google Docs so that I can see it, I can be watching it, so then I can give you guys the corrections and the edits that you need. And then you guys then I can give you the okay to be able to start on your animations, creating your music, the illustrations, all of that good stuff. So, all right, so now I'm just talking as me as the teacher to my supervisor. What I want the students to do, since we are on Zoom, which I hope we can actually be able to do this lesson, I want them to be able to share it with each other, and if they can, I believe this is an option, if they are using their computers, they can share their screen to all of us, or my teacher, who's the host of the Zoom, I believe she would be able to share her screen to everyone, and maybe she could share their animations and illustrations. The idea is that this would take a few days, so maybe a paragraph a day, a paragraph and animation story a day, so that we can just track their progress and not just say, here's all this work, take it, do it at home, and hope that they finish it eventually. And then it kind of keeps them, it holds the students accountable for that work. So at the end, pretty much what the closure would be is that the students would share their stories and animations to each other. I also would probably have them work on their graphic organizer beforehand. So a lot of this was just introducing the lesson to them and introducing what I wanted them to do, but I just figured that this lesson would kind of be kind of span out through a few days. So after this, after explaining to them, after reviewing what a narrative is and what is required of them in their narrative, I would have them fill out these graphic organizers, hopefully, but it's kind of difficult to make sure that they have done it via Zoom. It's just kind of difficult to see, hey, so what did you write on your paper? That's going to be kind of hard. So I'm just going to ask that of them after this lesson. If they can fill out their graphic organizers before they start, and then send me a picture if possible. I know some of my students won't be able to do that. So the hope is that they would start with a graphic organizer that they are very familiar with, and that they would add in their key details to their story, that they would be very descriptive. I also would have like a list of descriptive words that my computer crashed, so I have a new computer, but I have a saved large photo of just like a ton of descriptive words that they would be able to use. So I would have that tool up for them as well, maybe in Google Classroom, probably, as just a resource for them to make sure that they're using their descriptive details. And then as well, I would do the same for sequencing. I would have just a resource up for them to say what is included in your paragraph to determine that it is sequenced correctly. So just like we talked about in the beginning, we talked about first, second, and then after, finally, to guide them in sequencing correctly. This is all review because currently we are not learning anything new in our classroom, at least what my cooperative teacher has told me. They aren't learning anything new as of right now. So I just wanted to create lessons that she and I will actually be able to use via Zoom. So it's not really that long of a lesson. It's kind of difficult to even teach. It's always lagging, things like that. But I hope that that was enough. If it's not, please let me know. I will add more. I just tried to use the resources that I found, and I tried to tie it into our current situation. So if you need more, just please let me know. Also, I guess just the assessment piece would be checking the students' writing and also just checking it as we go, and just checking to see honestly if they've used the resources, if they've used the descriptive words that I would give them the resources, and checking to see if they use that. Yeah, so I think that is it. I tried to get the pup involved, but he just started playing with his toys and fell asleep. So, yeah, thank you so much.